Hi, and welcome to the Friendship Flow podcast. My name's Katy, and I'll be your host. My hope is to create a space for women entering their wisdom years to learn about friendship from all their own personal experience and create the circle of friends they desire and deserve. I hope to explore this subject with you so that you can explore what friendship means to you in your life. I created a 5-step approach to accomplish just that. 1, self-awareness. 2, connection. 3, boundaries. 4, growth. And 5, joy. Each episode, we will dive deeply into the steps and how to use them. So this is episode number 11, and today we're going to talk about the friend I'm becoming. So I created this podcast to speak to aging and friendship. So what has all the years of friendships taught us? And using that wisdom to create the rest of the friendships we'll have in life in a creative, methodical way that we choose. So, as we change, so do our friendships. That's what I titled this podcast. And I've been noticing how much I'm changing lately. My aging awareness is sinking in and how it naturally affects my friendships. So I have created more boundaries, maybe not as protections, but more so that I can really focus on what I do want. Maybe saying no when I want to say no instead of doing it for somebody else. And really deciding what I want. Because when you like me, if you are like me, are the type of person that is likes to nurture and likes to people please, it's hard. It's hard to make that switch and really think about what is best for you, or in my case, for me. What is best for me today? The truth is, change is not a failure. We're taught that friendship should be forever unchanging, but it's not true. Friendships do change. And, those hallmark friendships that go on from birth to death, that's beautiful, but it's not the norm. And it's not really what makes us grow as a person either. And growth quietly rearranges our circles. We don't even see it coming. We're just growing with life. So, you start having interests as a young adult maybe, and your friends that you've been with aren't into the things you're interested in. And so you see them less. It's just a natural, quiet little passage that just happens, and all of a sudden you find yourself with a whole new set of friendships. And sometimes friendships don't need to end, they just need to change the shape. Maybe you saw this friend every day and they were such an important part of your growth and your happiness for that period of your life. But how things changed in your life or their life has changed the shape of that friendship. Doesn't mean it no longer exists. Maybe you see that person for coffee once a month now just to catch up and wish each other well. But maybe you don't need that friendship to be an everyday occurrence anymore. The friend you're becoming. So who is that? Who are you when you're more grounded? How boundaries change your friendships. So I've made some new boundaries, such as like going out at night during the week. I really don't enjoy going out at night during the week, especially in the winter. In the summer, that's a different story. But I felt obligated to do things my friends were doing. So I was going along with it. And I finally said, you know what? It's best for me to not do that so much unless there's something that is going to resonate with me and make a difference in my life. I need to say no. So I've started doing that. So, I invite you to think about the things that you're doing and why you're doing them and what it means to the different friendship circles you're in. How showing up honestly changes who stays. And that can be a hard truth. When you truly are able to be yourself and you truly show up as yourself with your friends, who stays? Who likes that? That's your tribe. Those are your people. The people that stick around when you're being your unique, authentic self. And a question you might want to ask yourself is, am I being the kind of friend I would want right now? So when you think of the things that you do want and desire in your friendships, is that how you're showing up? Because you're not going to create that in your life unless you are that. So it really adds value if you can sit, maybe take out your journal and just write about what kind of friend you think you are now, what kind of friend you might want to be if it differs from that, and what you can do, how you can show up and let others know who you really are. And the other part of that is sometimes you have to let go of friends. Now, it's funny because that has never occurred in my life before until the last couple of years. And there have been a couple friendships in my life that I've had to let go. And I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. It's really not an easy thing to do. They were both two entirely different situations. One was because an event happened and the other person chose not to be in a friendship anymore. And it was really okay with me. I agreed. So the other friendship that I stepped away from was a lot harder. Someone I truly cared about and still do. And I knew it was healthier for me to abstain from that relationship. And it's still a struggle for me because I did deeply care for this person and I wish her well. And I truly want the best for both of us. And I'm sure she feels the same way. I'm sure she feels some loss of that relationship as well. But we all have, I guess, I don't know. I'm 61 years old now, and I never had that happen before a few years ago. So, maybe it's one of those things that people need to go through. And whether you go through it as a younger person and you learn your lessons there, or like me, an older person going through it for the first time, it's hard. So, and it's okay to know that you can still love that person from afar. You don't have to be in that relationship daily to care about somebody. And you can let go without any anger or feelings like it will never be the same again. We don't know what's going to change, and maybe that will resolve itself and you'll be friends again. So I invite you to have some compassion for the past versions of yourself as a friend. And I encourage patience with those in-between spaces. And I'd like to think of friendship like a river. And it's funny because I belong to 4 book clubs, and each one of them have been reading books about rivers as a theme. So it was just, I guess, on my mind for a metaphor. But some friends rush in fast and furious, and they're meant for that season of your life. But other friends move in slowly, and they carve deep paths over time. Friendship changes when the terrain changes in our lives. So new roles, priorities, identities, etc. When we stop trying to stop them, to dam them, we allow them to take the shape that they're supposed to. So just allow that river to flow. Just allow the friendships to happen the way they are meant to happen with no expectation. You can't stop a river from expanding or receding. And the same with your friendships. You need to allow it to flow so you can see exactly where you want to go. Now, in my life, I cherish the low maintenance friends, the friends that I don't have to think a lot about what I'm going to say or do. Those friends that give me that soft landing space. I still work on them. I still nurture those friendships. I still show up as much as I can and as authentically as I can. But there's no expectations, and I can truly just be. I have a group of friends that I hike with, and I look forward to that every week because I know when I go there, it's going to be laughter, conversation, sometimes deep conversation, sometimes just casual, but it's easy. It just happens. It just flows. And that is something I desire in my friendships. And I think it's important to work on that in our lives, to decide exactly what makes you feel good and what brings you joy and how to get that out of your friendships. So I have something else I'd love to share with you today. If you look me up on Facebook, Elevated Adventures Yoga, I've started teaching aerial yoga again, and I'll be teaching in Quidditch Park at Fountain Aesthetics. The silks are being hung as we speak, I hope, and the schedule will be going up within a week or two. So look for that. I'd love to see you there. Grab some friends and have a night out or a day out and try some of the aerial silks. It's really fun. And there's all different levels, and you don't need to be afraid. I would love to have you. The other thing I invite you to look at is my Substack, which is a companion to this podcast. And this week I will be posting a blog about what am I learning about how I show up. So it's like a direct relation to what we talked about today on the podcast, and maybe gives a little more insight about how we show up for our friends, for ourselves, and creating those paths that we want for our future. So right now, I invite you to take a deep breath and exhale all that no longer serves you. And until next time, be a good friend. Thank you, friends.